Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Special Expenses Advisory Panel. Welcome everyone who's coming to talk tonight. My name's Councillor Darren Woodywis and I'm the chair for the evening. Should we start by just going around? Start with you, Buddy.
Councillor Buddy Anderson for Great Bowden and Arden Ward.
Councillor Peter James for Little Bowden Ward, Market Harborough, and Chairman of the Council this year. Thank you.
I'm Alex Wharton, Democratic Services Officer.
John Richardson, Chief Executive.
Councillor Phil Knowles, Great Bowden and Arden Ward and Leader of the Council.
Councillor Paul Bremner, Logan Ward, Market Harborough.
Councillor Joe Asher, Lebanon Ward.
Thank you all. I always forget this bit, but there are no fire drills planned, so if the alarm does go off, then please exit by the clearly signed routes or out of the windows, whichever is your preference. Okay. Right, so for apologies for absence, we've got Councillor Page and Councillor Taylor. Are there any other absence?
Councillor Finan also sends his apologies.
Okay, thank you. Any others? Okay. Yes, normally the officers are all in the building, but if you look behind, well, I can't see it at the minute, but Kat Hartley is the Director of Wellbeing. She's injured herself, so she will be joining us from home. Hello, Kat. Okay.
Good evening, all.
Good evening. Right, declarations of members' interests. I think Paul. Yep.
Sorry. In the Section 106 grant applications, there's an application from Harborough Community Church. I'm a member of the church, but I don't have any financial or managerial responsibility within the church, so I believe I can remain and discuss the application.
Thank you. Councillor James.
I'll just mention that I use the Methodist Church quite a lot, so I know people there. So I'm not sure whether that's a declaration needed, but
and it's not even that church, so. Right. Okay, and I have to declare that unfortunately I've known Penny for about 25, 30 years, so it's been a hardship, but 40 is it? Okay, you're making us feel very old then, but welcome tonight. Okay, so first item is the draft minutes. So has everyone looked through them? Any comments? No. Councillor Andy? Anderson? No, Councillor James. Oh, was it Councillor James? Sorry, you had your hand up.
sorry, let me just find it. Okay, I'm there now, sorry. Yeah, just a comment on the Station Master's Garden. I think we had discussion about that, didn't we, which is recorded here. And it ends up saying there were some practical issues involving in the development of this site, but it was hoped that some form of development involving Harbour in Bloom would be possible. I'm just wondering if we've got an update on that, please. And also, do we have an update on the wooden footbridge by the railway station, which is generally falling apart, whether we got an update on that? That's it, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor James. Do we have any updates? Oh, sorry, Councillor Bremner as well.
Just a comment which applies to the minutes and to the paperwork before us. The paper about projects, what is it titled? So I've lost it now.
It's
Projects Priority Update. This is the Market Harborough Special Expenses panel. So why do we receive updates on the Lutterworth Country Park?
A fair comment. Maybe because it's associated with the rewilding. I'm not sure, but
I would assume that's the case, and I'm sure it'll be covered under the report later through Kat when she gets to that point.
that was in the
I think
minutes.
the same comment goes to the rewilding project because that's much bigger than the Special Expenses panel. So again, why is such projects being reported? What's the terms of reference for this committee, and is it being stretched a little bit?
Well, it's been reported to us we have no influence on it, so I think it's more of a courtesy because it is in our sphere of interest.
I'd like the comment noted, please. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you got that, Alec? Okay. Anything else? No? So did you want to come back on the wooden bridge?
Personally, I haven't got detail on that unless Kat's got any update on either of those two. If not, then we'll make sure the members updated after the meeting.
Thank you. In that case, have you got those notes? Yep. Okay. Sign on the back. Today is the 10th. There you go. Thank you. Right. So next we have, it goes over, we're into the community grant applications. So did we want Kat to do an introduction for this, or should we go in? Yes. Okay, Kat, fire away.
Yeah, I'm happy to, Chair, if that would be helpful.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I'll walk everybody through the report. Bear with me. Okay, so just a bit of a recap. As members will hopefully recall, we bring community grant applications and Section 106 applications before this panel for comment. So it's not decision making, but this is for comment, an onward comment specifically to Cabinet Subcommittee grants who will be making the decision. So that's just a bit of a reminder about the context of why we have these reports coming to the meetings. So this report in particular relates to the £1 million community grant applications, actually relates specifically to underspend from year 1 of the community grant programme and then the round 2 of year 2. And the reason for that being is that we had some underspend from year 1, so that underspend was looked at by Cabinet Subcommittee grants and they set some criteria applying to an underspend round to ensure that we could spend all of the funding. So as you'll see from the report, we have a number of applications that have been put forward for year 1 and year 2. So for year 1, we have 3 projects that have been put forward, and for round 2 of year 2, we have 2 projects that have been put forward. Now, at the previous meeting, and obviously through yourself, Chair, I think what worked reasonably well is that we took each project in turn, and I gave a brief overview, but then we also have, for all but one of the projects, we have speakers at the meeting here this evening. So would it be helpful for me to just do the same?
Absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, lovely. So in the report, so that's the agenda pack starting on page 17 onwards, we have the details of each of the projects. So if I start with the first one, this is a year 1 underspend project application, and this is for a total amount requested of 4,641, and this is for the Speak Out project, Market Harborough, Harborough District Children and Young People's Charity. The ward member is Councillor Dr. Bremner, and the project is enabling young people to research, write and publish content about issues affecting young people and their community. So this project does fit with the one of the pillars within the community wellbeing plan, and it is focused around young people. I'll pause there, Chair, because I believe that we do have a speaker, so might wish to provide some more information about the project.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you very much. Would you like to come up to the chair and introduce yourself? That's right. And there's a button to switch your microphone on.
Okay, so yes, Speak Out. We have young people, 7, who meet once a week. I mean, they write articles and then they produce these magazines. So it's a proper, quite impressive magazine. They do the whole publishing process. They learn about design, the print, the proofreading. So they get quite a lot of skills for life. This is our 40th edition, and they're currently working on their 41st. And we also have a website, which we've had for 4 years. So everything from the magazine feeds into the website, which means we can then go out to schools, schools get young people involved in our creative writing competitions. So the core group enables quite a broad reach in the community. We've also collaborated with the Youth Council. We ran the competition for their new logo, and that went out to schools, and then the young people from Youth Council and Speak Out chose a winner. So what we are asking for is money to fund 6 new laptops and 2 iPads. The 2 laptops they have now can't update to Windows 11. They're slow, clunky, limiting what they can achieve in the hour and a half every week. The new laptops would enable them to work individually, and we could recruit a few new members. And for their own, don't know what the word is, but they get very frustrated anyway, because they're so slow and clunky. So it would really help the group. It would really help us. They'd be able to produce more, help update the website, and expand the reach, really. The core group or a group of young people. Speak Out tends to sort of be somewhere safe for people who may not be as comfortable in mainstream education with friends and socially, so they've formed a very, very unique group. And that's it in a nutshell, really, why
Okay.
we'd
Thank you.
like
We
the
didn't catch your
funding,
name?
please.
What was your name, sorry?
Caroline.
Caroline. Okay.
And here with Lizzie, our fundraising manager.
Okay, right. I'll throw it open to the councillors, Dr. Bremner, and then Councillor Usher.
First, I'm not sure why I am the ward councillor. So where is your office, or where are you located?
HCYC has desks on the second floor.
Here.
Here, yeah.
In the,
3 days a week on the second
that's
floor.
not my ward then.
Pardon?
Still a good...
Speak Out meets.
But I don't mind that, because what you've said is so key to young people's skill. Because skills in publishing, in print, and then with the computing, in social media, and be able to communicate a message, it's a particular skill that's developed through the experience that they get. And it resonates with me personally about the computers. Because my daughter has a 5-year-old computer, and she's frustrated. And she's just fortunately got a new one, and it's much quicker, and she's much happier. So, how many computers did you say you wanted?
With 6 laptops and 2 iPads. The iPads allow for people who may not work as well on a computer.
I am not sure that the amount you've asked for will cover all of that.
It will. We got a recent quote from, we work with Indigo, our suppliers, and they're fully quoted for 6 laptops.
Are they 60 megabyte RAM and 60 megabyte of RAM and a reasonable amount of storage on the SSD
yeah,
drive?
they've done the technical spec.
All right.
And if needed, we'd make the funding adapt. So if prices have gone up, we'd have 5 laptops and 1 or...
The other thing I've noted here is that the skills developed would be relevant for further education or apprenticeship. And that is a key aspect of the skills that they're developing. But another question, if these are Speak Out to young people, do you interface with the Youth Council as well?
Do we?
Do you interface with the Youth Council?
Oh, yes, yeah. We always have half a page in here talking about what the Youth Council's done. Every edition. The website also does summaries of the meetings that take place. And some Youth Council members enter our competitions. And
do any of the youth also from here interact with the Cube and the music centre there and music development? I'm just thinking where young people gather. Do they sort of connect with one another?
The Speak Out young people with
Yeah, they're creative.
Yeah.
Some of them might be creative musically as well. Do they connect with those guys down at the Cube?
The Cube,
Or
well,
next door to the Cube?
the Speak Out have been there actually. They did a workshop for them. Martin from, can't remember what it's called, but the music place,
right,
yeah.
No,
And then they wrote about it. So if they do things like that, they write about it, and then that spreads the message in the community.
Absolutely. Right. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Asher? Yeah. Asher. Councillor Asher. Sorry.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I think this is great. I just wanted to ask a couple of things, putting my professional hat on. I've worked in publishing since I left school, basically, in advertising sales. And I just wondered if it would be useful for me to perhaps speak to them, or maybe you could get sponsorship down the line. I know, obviously, I agree with this application, and I know it will help greatly putting it together and everything. But I'm thinking going forward to make it more sustainable, you know, if there isn't grants down the line, that a good way of getting revenue in is getting sponsorship and maybe some advertising on the website or in the magazine. I'd be really happy to come along and help you with that.
We haven't thought, Lizzie, you're more...
Pass that one over to me.
Yeah.
Love to explore it.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if there's like local businesses that might help sponsor or support a column, or maybe have a little advert in there. Anybody that aims at the youth, you know, the demographics that it goes out to. I think that would be really good.
Obviously, we have to be careful about who is advertising it and effort.
Yeah.
It's something we haven't really had a chance to explore because my time is limited, basically.
Yeah.
But yes, we can happily explore it.
Brilliant. I'm happy to help you if you need any help. So
Yeah. Or I can connect with you afterwards.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. It's very generous of you. Councillor Knowles?
Yeah, I think it's Councillor Anderson's and not Ward, but we're not upset.
Yes.
I'm happy for Phil to be the ward councillor if he likes. I've got my name attached to a few of these, so go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, thanks, Buddy. I'm just happy that Buddy's better at computers than I am, because I'll press the button. If they don't work, I'll make a phone call. A few questions, if I may. I think this is an excellent scheme. I'm really extremely supportive of it. But what are the ages of people that are involved? I think that would...
The magazine, the website, it covers 11 to 18. The face-to-face group, we've generally got year 8, 9 and 10 and 11. So probably 13 to 15 at the moment. Yeah. But then the schools, people can enter, and we've got year 7 and then up until year 13.
And how many in total are involved in it?
Well, 7 face-to-face members, but the competitions go out to schools. So, for example, we might have 30 art entries, and we put those on the website as well. So every young person's got a chance to showcase their work.
Okay. So if this attracted more so more people want to get involved, how are you able to cope with that increase in enthusiasm to join?
How
are you able to cope with the sort of increase number of people wanting to join?
Well, I think we've got a limit because we're in the ground floor room in this building. So I think we could probably go up to 9 comfortably. Okay. Otherwise, I work remotely with some young people already and train them how to do the website. So there's avenues for people.
Okay.
Can I just add something to that? Because I think if there was an increased demand with people getting involved, then we would look at how we could develop the project to enable that to happen. So the setup at the moment doesn't allow it, but we generally try not to turn young people away when they want to get involved.
Okay. And you're now working on edition number 41.
Yes.
How long does it take you to put an edition together?
Well, they spend a term on each issue, and then it will print over the holiday and come out and get distributed after. So they're working on one now. It should print over Easter, and it'll be distributed.
I'm just trying to work out when edition 50 comes out with all the special celebrations. I think it's a very, very worthwhile scheme. personally, I'm very happy to support it. And I'm happy to move that we recommend that goes to the appropriate bodies to make a decision.
Did either of you two want to have a comment? No?
I'll second that.
Okay, right. So this is, I was going to say, so HCYC, I think, a fabulous organisation. Continue what you're doing. We do get a copy of Speak Out in our pigeonholes when it comes out, so I've read a number of the copies, and I do appreciate it. And likewise, I have a very old computer on my desk at home. The irony is, it sits next to the new computer that I haven't had time to move all the data across yet, so I'm still using the old one. Going. Anyway, so those in favour of recommending this forward? Okay, that's unanimous. Thank you. That will now go to the Cabinet Sub-Grants Committee. It's probably all been explained to you already, but that's where the final decision will be made to award. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So, Kat.
Yep, I'll go on to the next one.
Indeed.
So the second project from the year one underspend is the Harborough LC Junior Badminton Club. So they're looking at, they're putting forward a project to purchase equipment pack. I must admit, I'm not sure what this is, but somebody will be able to explain it, I'm sure. A Hover Air x1 drone, which sounds just amazing, and a Samsung tablet. So some equipment there for the badminton club. £1,438 requested, and the ward councillor for this one is Councillor Anderson. And this is well within, so I should have said for the previous one as well, this is within the available underspend that is left from year one for Market Harborough. So I do believe we also have somebody from the badminton club, so I'll hand back to you, Chair.
Okay, could you step forward, sir, and introduce yourself and tell us what one of these hoverpacks is?
Hi, my name's John Fannin. I am a coach at Harborough LC Junior Badminton Club, which is a junior club that covers ages 8 through to 18. At the moment, we have about 70 to 75 youngsters playing across 3 sessions every Wednesday during term time. We've got currently 2 qualified coaches and other volunteers. It's all a volunteer-led club. There's no paid employees. So what we're trying to do with this project is we had a bit of an experience where we borrowed a drone and a tablet that somebody had to record somebody playing badminton, and it was for the GCSE PE actually. And we've had this requirement before, and we've either recorded it on their own device, which means they've got to bring it in, or on a coach's device, which is not ideal in terms of safeguarding and so on. There's ways we can do it that way, but ideally we want a device that is a club device, not a personal device, that we can record video on, and so it's not taken away and accessible by other people necessarily. So the benefit of the drone part of it is that when you're videoing somebody play badminton, in order to see their technique, and for this GCSE PE thing, it was a requirement that they needed to record what various techniques. So that involves a coach standing there with a device, and whilst they're standing there with a device, they can't then coach the player, and this is true across other things as well. So it's a very useful thing to be able to video somebody, pause it, slow it down, show them where they're going wrong, compare it to somebody else, that kind of thing. So it's a very useful, well-known coaching sort of technique to record video. So we'd like to do that a lot more. As I say, this drone is capable of being set to follow somebody. So it's very small, sort of 15 centimetres across, and it will just hover a few metres away and take video, and it records it onto the device that it's connected to. But that means the coach is then free to guide the person who's being recorded and coach them as they're doing it, rather than being obsessed with the videoing of it. So we found it very useful. We tried it out for one GCSE PE person, and it was very successful. So then we looked at whether the club could purchase one, so it was on site. We didn't have to borrow somebody else's device. So that's what we're looking at. The tablet itself would be useful for other things as well. Recording the register each week, which we currently do on paper, things like that. So be efficiency there in using that. We also, we'll come on to this, so part of it is running a program called Shuttle Stars, which is Badminton England's new program for young players of badminton, so beginners to intermediate, sort of starting from age 6, I think, going up. To do that, we need some equipment, and also there's a whole bunch of, there's around 100 odd PDFs that tell you how to coach the individual sessions that are part of that program. And again, we can have those on this tablet device, really accessible, rather than in a folder somewhere that's, you know, this thick. So, and being able to quickly search through and find the right one and that kind of thing. So that's where the technology comes in. Benefits, I think, to it is improving our coaching across the club, making it all these kind of things. We've got various things. We've got a shuttle launching device which encourages people, they get engaged in it because it's something different. Technology, kids are into technology. So all this kind of stuff and videoing just means we can encourage more people to get involved in it and play badminton. The Shuttle Stars thing that Badminton England run, part of this money is to buy some kit that goes with that programme. So there's a specific kit that comes in a bag with various bits and pieces of equipment that's used to do the sessions. So it's large size shuttles that kids can throw and bats and things like that, which is all part of the programme. So we need that in order to run the programme. Yeah, so that's the crux of it. So part of it is the technology, but part of it is a bag full of stuff that we can coach kids with. And as I say, immediately benefit the 70 odd that we're coaching now. But, you know, for the next 10 years, we'll be coaching more and more people coming through. We've also got an adult club that follows on from that, which we've recently got parents of the children to come and play at, so it's benefiting the wider sort of community as well, not just the junior players. So yeah, that's the crux of it. I don't know whether you've got any questions.
Thank you very much, John. Councillor Bremner?
My favourite sport when I was in school. Can't do it anymore. Tricky question, perhaps. You talked about the safeguarding with a personal use of a personal device. But here you're filming young people under the age of 18 with a Samsung ruggedized tablet. So do you have a safeguarding policy at the club?
We do, yeah.
Thank you for that. And will there be named people who can access this computer and a moderator for the computer?
Yes, so the moderator would be me as the welfare officer, so I'm trained in safeguarding through Badminton England. The other coaches are trained in safeguarding as well, and we have volunteers that are welfare officers that are independent from the coaches, which is important. So yeah, we have all that in place. And yeah.
Do you have someone who has some expertise in internet safety for the device?
Yes, myself again, probably.
I
work in IT, so yeah, I'm aware of all that stuff. We would, generally the policy is that you would record only and store it for only as long as you need it for. If it was for a child for their GCSE, that we would perhaps send that to them and then delete it from the device. So there wouldn't be data stored on this device for any length of time.
There's an asking of consent before you finish.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, very happy. Thank you very much.
Councillor Anderson?
You need to just switch your mics off.
Yes, thank you, John. I don't have any questions. I just wanted to give my comments as the ward councillor and say that I wholeheartedly support your application. As the former youth champion for the Harborough district, should come as a surprise to nobody that I'm very enthusiastic about this one. It is often said that young people in the district don't have many options and things to do. I'm particularly impressed that you have over 70 members. I think that's wonderful. I also think the amount of £1,438 is a modest sum of money for something that is clearly going to benefit the community. So no questions, just support. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Councillor Anderson. Councillor Asher?
Yeah, just to also give my support on this. As part of my portfolio, obviously, keeping active is very close to that. And also for myself, I've played badminton on and off most of my life. So again, as Councillor Anderson said, it's great to see that you've got 70 plus junior members, because with so much going on, you know, with paddle and all these new sports and things, I was a bit worried that badminton might lose its novelty, but that's good to see, and I hope it continues that way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councillor Knowles?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I mean, I think the point Councillor Anderson's just made about the £1,438 is such a small amount, and it's obviously going to do such a lot of good, which is one of the things that's very important with these grant schemes. It can make a real difference with a very small amount of money. It's certainly, when you look at the number of people involved, 75 members, that's a lot of people. And, you know, you're not talking a great deal of money per each person. It really is extremely worthwhile. I mean, I have to say, I'm extremely supportive of it and very happy to move that it be taken to the next stage. So happy to do that, Chairman.
Any seconders? Councillor Asher? Oh, yeah, so the one question I have is where do you actually meet? That's the only thing it doesn't
It's
say.
at the Leisure Centre, Harborough Leisure Centre. So the name of the club is actually kind of based on the LC part is the Leisure Centre part. Can also be construed as local community as well, which was the sort of, it was a community badminton club.
Excellent. And like these guys, I'm a long-term badminton player as well, who no longer play due to Achilles injuries, but you can really see the difference in the calibre of players who've had proper coaching when they're young and as they come through.
Yeah, well, we get all ranges of people as well. So we get some really good players, and then we have people that just want to come for the social aspect and play with their friends. And so, yeah, so across the board, really. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, you've been proposed and seconded, so all those in favour? Okay, so we'll recommend that to the sub-grants group. Thank you. Okay, back to you then, Kat.
Thank you, everyone. Just going to the next project. So the third project from the year one underspend is the Market Harborough Drama Society operating out of the theatre, and this is for the purchase and installation of 2 interior digital screens. So this is an amount requested of £2,232. Again, the ward member is Councillor Anderson. And again, Chair, I'll pause there because, again, I believe that we have somebody with us from the Drama Society. So back to you.
All right, come yourself forward. Introduce yourself, thank you. That's the one, yep.
Good evening. My name is Barbara Lloyd. I am Chair of Market Harborough Drama Society. And so, just to start off, I will quote from our grant application. Harbour Theatre is a cultural and community hub for Market Harborough and its surroundings. And the theatre is in the cultural quarter in which the council has invested to bring a sense of pride to the town. We believe our project supports the ambitions of Harborough District Council. We believe that arts and culture can significantly contribute to health and well-being for both audiences watching productions and volunteers benefiting from social interaction whilst contributing to the community. Digital screens will ensure that opportunities to be involved with will be advertised efficiently, because we don't at the moment advertise volunteering, and it'll do this in an eye-catching manner. Now, as you know, well, we are in the cultural quarter, and we have been described by a very kind councillor as the jewel in the cultural quarter. But we have been trying, we're the nearest thing to a professional theatre that you can get, but we are amateur. Purely, everybody's a volunteer, apart from one person. And we have been trying to not only be more professional, but look more professional. We are in the centre of the cultural quarter. We have sorted out our window with the help of a grant, and we are going to, that's the bottom window by the office, we're going to put some decals up in the top window, so that, because a lot of people don't know we're a theatre. So if we put something that, I mean, it says Harborough Theatre in big letters, but still people don't know it's there. So we're going to put something that makes it very obvious that we are a theatre. Because we want to, what we try and do is involve people to become part of our teams, because people get a great sense of community from the theatre. I mean, I've been there since 2007. I've done every job there is to do within the theatre. And so these screens, we will be able to advertise all of our volunteering opportunities, acting opportunities. We'll obviously advertise our plays. And we just think the more professional that we look, the better it will be for the town.
I agree. Thank you very much. Any comments then? Councillor Anderson.
Me again. Firstly, can I say you have a terrific speaking voice.
Thank you.
I very much can see why you're at the theatre. So I was the ward councillor that supported the previous application for the windows, and I did so enthusiastically then, as I will do today. I totally agree with your comments about Harborough Theatre, and I think it is utterly vital that that theatre is protected for the next generation. And cosmetics matter, and the cultural quarter has had money invested into it, and therefore I think the Drama Society should as well. So I just again wanted to support this application, and thank you for bringing it forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Knowles.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, and thank you for your comments and your presentation on this. I mean, to me, this is a good investment. It's investing in the community again. It's investing in a very important part of the community. And I have no problem. I'm more than happy to move it. So I'm happy to do that, Chairman.
Let's do another comment. Another two. No, so Councillor Asher first.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, with culture also being in my portfolio, it seems like everything is in my portfolio. I'm really happy to see this and happy to support it. I think that the theatre is, you know, a great place. It looks amazing from the outside, and these will really help you on the inside. So yeah, happy to support.
Councillor Bremner.
Happy to support. Just a question. When I first saw this, I thought they're so popular, they have overspill, so they need to show a film, the performance on the stage on the screen. That's not what this is.
No, Harborough Cinema is a totally separate entity.
No, but for you.
Oh, for us. I see what you mean. Sorry.
So if you had a popular play on that you had to have an overspill.
We do have a television monitor down in the lounge, so that if there is an overspill, people can watch it.
But you can now transfer that to the 50-inch.
I think we could. That is really not our primary reason for applying. But I think, yes, I'm sure we could, because we can do it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's forward thinking from Paul. Is planning the future for.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Come and be a trustee.
I think the arts is something that some people poo-poo, do they not?
Oh, they do.
But I think the arts are something which is a multi-billion-pound industry in this country, and we have it right in the heart of our town. So, more power to you.
Thank you.
I've moved it.
You've moved it? Okay, so I get to say, as a part of my role as heritage champion, so I think it's very important that we do support the arts, and I have, and the arts are a very broad spectrum, so there's the fixed assets like sort of paintings and sculptures, and obviously the culture of the UK in part is through people like William Shakespeare. So, yeah, so I would wholeheartedly support this as well. Who would like to second this? Councillor Asher. All those in support? Not you, Paul?
Why?
Okay, thank you.
Chairman, before we move on to the next report, could I just ask for a 2-minute adjournment. I just want to check some of these figures.
Yeah, okay. I was just going to say, as a lapsed thespian myself, good luck with this. So thank you. It will go through.
Would you mind having a 2-minute adjournment?
Yeah, so let's take a 2-minute break. Anyone? Then you may do this juncture.
Well, that figure should be 3220. Now, and it's the same with all the figures that are listed down there. Now, it might well be that it's that plus VAT, but it doesn't say that in the report. So I just thought it was important that we highlighted that, because obviously we're going to move it tonight. We need to take that into consideration when we're doing so. So that's why I raised it, Kat. With the VAT on, yeah. It doesn't say it. So it just needs picking up on that. Otherwise, it might have led to a slight misunderstanding. Yeah.
We could, if it is recommended and moved, we can pick that up at subcommittee grants for clarification, but we'll take it forward to that meeting if it's approved.
Thanks.
Lovely. Okay, shall we press on then, Kat?
Yep, no problem at all. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Apologies, I didn't quite hear the full discussion on that. There was a bit of an issue with the sound, but what I'll do is listen back to the recording and I'll make sure that we take that away and pick that up.
So in a nutshell, Kat, the items are without VAT, but the totals are with VAT. So you're saying...
Okay. Yeah, we'll make sure that gets clarified. Thank you. Okay, and now we're moving on to the year 2, round 2 projects, and we have 2 projects applications for your consideration. The first project...
sorry, Kat, Paul Bremer would like to speak.
Not to prejudice anything in this meeting, but is year 2, round 2 this year?
Yes.
Yes.
So what happened to the council decision and the amendment then?
I'll defer to Mr. Knowles.
The decision that was taken at full council the other evening was referring to the £1 million community grants, but that actual amount that was in the report was for 27-28. It didn't refer to this year. So
it's after.
That's where there's a problem.
Okay.
Now that we have had a discussion about it, and it will have to be resolved. But at the moment, where we're sitting at is that is for 27-28. That was the figure that was in there. So it's this year should be unaffected.
Okay.
Yeah, but the budget doesn't come into effect till April anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, sorry, Kat.
That's okay, not a problem at all. It's important that everyone's clear. This project is an application from the Market Harborough Methodist Church for the purchase of new additional chairs and carpet tiles. So because we're in round 2, we have a reasonable amount of the Market Harborough Fund left. So we're in round 2 of 4. So we're about halfway through. Just as a reminder, the initial allocation for the whole year is £150,000. We have 105,059 remaining, and the amount requested is £49,747.90 exactly. And the ward councillor for this particular project is Councillor James, and I believe that we do have somebody from the church with us this evening, so I'll hand back to yourself, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor James, is there anyone here to speak from it as well? Sorry, go to them first.
Neil will speak first and then I'll speak.
Welcome, Nick.
Good evening. My name is Neil Hackers. I'm the Church Council Secretary at Market Harborough Methodist Church. At Market Harborough Methodist Church, we regard ourselves as a church at the heart of our community. In addition to acts of Christian worship and other church activities, we host a very wide variety of community events. These are detailed in our application, but to summarise, include many of the Harborough and Welland U3A groups, various choirs and orchestras who use our facilities for rehearsals and for concerts, stroke and cancer care groups, and a wide variety of other activities covering all ages from babies to the most mature members of our community. In total, around about 36,000 people use our premises each year. We are an eco-church, a fair trade church, and have in recent years opened our doors to the Ukrainian community. The church needs to maintain and improve its facilities, and so we're embarking on a refurbishment programme in excess of £200,000 to include resurfacing of our car park, removal of asbestos from the youth wing and the necessary replacement of flooring in the ceilings, upgrades to our audio-visual equipment, improvements to the entrance foyer and new fire exit doors. In addition to this, in 2025, we had to replace the roof over the front part of the building at a cost of just over £48,000. This was funded entirely from within the Methodist Church, with the largest proportion coming from direct donations from members of our church family. If our grant application is successful, it would include new carpet tiles for the entrance foyer, coffee lounge and the church, and also new chairs for these areas. This will provide a much improved facility which safely avoids potential trip hazards from worn-out carpeting and will offer all our users a facility that is much improved, both in terms of appearance and comfort for concerts, meetings and all other events. Thank you, and obviously happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Councillor James?
Thank you, Neil. If I could, I really do support this. I mean, I think that this is a large venue in the town. I think, as the report says, it's used for very, very wide community use. I think it's 33 years old, the venue, something like that.
34 now, Peter.
Oh, 34 years,
yeah.
oh, thank you. Even worse, it's 34 years old. It's been operating to a very high standard of the building itself and the facilities, and quite frankly, a lot of them are wearing out. The church, as Neil says, the church had to spend a lot of money on the roof. I was able to give them some advice on that and get that moving. And so there's been a big expenditure commitment there. So I regard it as it's a church, but it's a very important asset to the town. It's very centrally based, so I think we've got something like 27 organisations using it. I found it particularly good that when we had 40 odd, I think, Ukrainian families who came into this town, and they were welcomed there and they were supported there and given all the advice and assistance to get themselves settled in the community, which has certainly happened very well. So I think we need to keep, and it's got, I think it's 200 seating capacity there. It's been used for some quite large events over the years to a very high standard, and I think we really need to keep that going. The church has invested an awful lot of money into themselves, and I think we should really support this because of the wide community use, and keep it to the standard that it really deserves. So I think I'll just say that at the moment, Chairman. Thank you very much.
Councillor James. Councillor Knowles.
Yeah, like Councillor James, I think this is again a facility that's very much at the heart of the community. It's used by so many groups. I mean, I was there a few weeks ago for a meeting of the U3A, and it was quite remarkable. I mean, there was standing room only at the back, and I was told it is regularly used to incredible levels of attendance. At that, it really was a sight to see. That we literally couldn't put a pin's point between people. So I think it is something that we need to acknowledge, obviously, as a church, but we also need to acknowledge it, as Councillor James says, as a very important facility for the community. And I think it would be money well spent in actually providing this. And I think we should definitely refer it forward to the Cabinet Sub-Grant Committee for them to look at it and to make a decision on it. So I'm more than happy to move it, Chairman, being as I'm speaking, so I'm happy to do that.
Thank you.
And I'll leave it to you
Okay,
to
thank you, Councillor
get other
Knowles.
views.
Any more comments before? Councillor Asher?
Just say happy to second it. I think indoor space is so important for our community, and one of the things we're always getting asked is, we need indoor space. Where can we meet? We've got this group, we've lost our home, we need it, so we need to look after our indoor spaces.
Thank you, Councillor Asher. I agree. It is one of our one of our larger and more accessible spaces in the town. So for anything from general election hustings through to tea evenings. So yes, a broad spectrum of events there. So it's proposed and seconded. So all those in favour? Unanimous again. So that will be forwarded on to the Cabinet Sub-Grants. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Will you excuse me? I'm undergoing chemotherapy and anxious to avoid my contact. So will you excuse us if we leave now?
Not a problem.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
And good luck with the treatment. Thank you. Okay. So back to you again, Kat.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, and the second project from year 2 of the community grants is the Market Harborough Fixers Community Interest Company, or CIC. The project details here are purchase of a third porta cabin to house a reception and training events for their project. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody from the applicant side here this evening due to illness, so they have sent their apologies. So with your permission, Chair, I'll perhaps just talk through a little bit more of the detail on this one on their behalf. For those of you who don't know, Market Harborough Fixers CIC is as it says, it's a community interest company who set out to create a sustainable environment by undertaking repairs to household items, which prevents households then having to replace them. So it extends the life of those household items. So they've been operating for 5 years. The demand for repairs is increasing continually. And they have got data around that. They're recording all of their repairs on a shared database, which they can demonstrate has resulted in a saving of 2,500 kilograms of waste, which is equivalent to 4,500 kilograms of CO2. They do have volunteers, so everyone is welcome to volunteer. And the third porta cabin will help them with this because it will help manage the increased demand by enabling a reception, but also space for training volunteers so that they can increase the capacity to undertake repairs. So this project, this project is seeking £5,205.78 from the remaining allocation of just over £105,000. The ward councillor is Councillor Knowles, and I will attempt to help with questions as far as I can, obviously in the knowledge that we don't have the applicant with us this evening. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Kat. Councillor Knowles?
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, when I was contacted about this, I mean, it's obviously becoming an integral part of the community. There's a lot of things that are done there, and I think the important thing with this was it actually had this additional piece of information, which was about the space for training. So the ability for more and more people to get involved in actually the sort of provision of the services that are done there. I think it's something that, again, it's very, very worthwhile. There's a lot of this now up and down the country. It's something that, you know, we can certainly encourage here in Market Harborough, and I'm very happy to move it, Chairman, that it be progressed through to the next stage.
Thank you. Councillor Bremner?
Not unhappy with the application, but I just want some clarity. The village has quite limited space up there. They've already got 2 porta cabins. This is a 3rd. Does that impact other users of the village? And has this application been properly scrutinised to understand where this porta cabin is going to go and how it impacts others in the village area? Because I think there's a danger here of, fine, go, we'll vote for it, without actually thinking about it. And I think there needs to be some sort of scoping to see, not having anyone here, it's difficult, just to be sure that they're not just pushing out other people within the village by having another porta cabin.
Kat, would you like to come back on that?
Yeah, so all of our applications do go through the process with the grants officers, so they will have asked those questions. Clearly, if planning permission or other permissions are required for the installation of the 3rd porta cabin, then we would expect to see that undertaken and those planning permissions applied for. My understanding, obviously, I don't have a detailed knowledge of this project, but my understanding is that there is space, and that question has been asked. But of course, if you were minded as a panel to support this project, what we can do is look to ask those questions and to get some further detail for Cabinet Subcommittee grants.
Thank you, Kat.
Sorry, I think that would be a very good idea, because then it gives the Grants Committee all the information they need to make a good decision.
Thank you, Councillor Bremner. Back to you, Councillor Knowles.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Chairman. We'll ask the officers to get more information, so that if it is progress tonight and it comes through to the Cabinet Subcommittee, we can actually look at it in detail. But if we pass it through tonight, it won't delay it, because the Cabinet Subcommittee can make the decision. And if there is any problem, as Councillor Brennan has highlighted, we can pick it up there. But I think if we can ask the officers to get this additional information, it is important.
Indeed. Okay. Any other comments? No, so the question or the point I would make as well, I'm entirely supportive of this. I did volunteer right at the beginning and realised my skills were not actually up to grade, so I ceased. But I'm aware that the village and a portion of St Mary's Road has been put onto up for development. So I don't know what the future long-term might be for this. So obviously we need to bear in mind it is Porta Catherine, so it can be relocated, but it's just something I just wanted to put out there as well. Okay, so do we have a proposer? Councillor Knowles, seconder. Councillor Anderson, all those in favour? Okay, so that'll be moved on. Thank you, Kat. So if you could just clarify those 2 points for us. Thank you. And again, back to you, Kat, sorry.
I think that completes the community grant applications. Chair, did you want me to move on to the 106 grants?
If you would, please.
Yep, no problem at all. Okay, so in a very similar way to the community grants, well, exactly the same way actually, we present the details of Section 106 applications or applications for projects seeking Section 106 funding that we're holding. to this panel so that you can consider and then provide your onward support or otherwise to Cabinet subcommittee grants. So there is one application for your consideration this evening, and that is from the Harborough Community Church. There's some context in the report on section 106 funding and what it is and what it's for. I won't go through that this evening, but obviously if there are any questions around that, I'm happy to pick those up. So the project is Harborough Community Church for £12,940 for their car park upgrade. And the details of the project are set out in the report. There's some information in there on the availability of Section 106 funding. And as you can see, on page 29 provides the information in terms of where the contribution has come from. So Section 106 contributions come from developments, developer contributions, and this comes from a total amount of £14,977 that needs to be spent by 2028. So I'll pause there, Chair. I won't go through the report line by line, but obviously I am happy to answer any questions that anybody may have.
Well, we do have people here from the church, so if one of you'd like to speak, then just move forwards. Thank you, sir.
It's a bit like being in front of the Dragon's Den, this, isn't it?
We haven't got that much money, though.
You look much nicer than those, I must say. So, well, thank you for going through the details. We, much like the Methodist Church, we provide a warm and welcoming space for Christian fellowship and worship. Also, our space is open to the community in the locality and throughout Market Harborough. There are over 1,000 non-church members come through our doors every week. We cater for ages varying from 0 to 100, I think, in that with freedom support groups, Welham Neighbourhood Forum, Breathe Easy, U3A also use our facilities. It's a polling station. There's Pilates go on there, arts and crafts, music. Babies and toddlers mothers and toddlers use it on 4 mornings a week for free and for nothing. They come and use the main hall. They can congregate there, and it provides a great community hub for the area. Yes, and we are looking to make it safer for the elderly and for the young coming into our facility by providing disabled spaces closer to the entrance doors. And the resurfacing of the car park will facilitate a safe egress from their cars into the building, because it's a bit tatty at the moment, and we've had a couple of trips, so we're looking to make it safer for those people to use the building.
Excellent, thank you. Councillor Asher?
Yeah, I'm happy to support this. It sounds like it is much needed work that needs doing. So yeah, I'm happy to support. I wish I did have the Dragon's Den money, but I don't. So we have to use the Council 106 money instead.
Thank you very much.
I guess now you need to identify which dragon you'd be.
Deborah Meaden, because she likes dogs.
Councillor James?
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, I certainly support this project. This is another example of a very important community facility, very widely used, nice coffee shop and things like that. So,
great cakes as well.
I'm so very pleased to support this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I see you as Peter Jones. What do you reckon? Which dragon? Peter Jones. Councillor Bramner?
Thank you. One of the things you mentioned was the mothers and toddlers group. 4 days a week. I would recommend any of you just to put your head round the door any morning.
If you can get it in through the door.
It is packed. It's an incredible open access to mums who just need a space to chat and let the kids play. It's so valuable.
And dads as well.
Well, I cheer on the mums, but anyway. Breathe Easy, what's that?
Very good question, Penny.
Breathe Easy, people with COPD and stuff like that.
It's a cancer support group.
Oh, okay.
Breathe Easy?
Breathe Easy.
No, that's people with breathing difficulties, so COPD and pulmonary issues.
I might get there. how many disabled, is it 2 or 3?
At the moment, we've got 2 indistinguishable disabled bays at the side of the building because the yellow markings have all worn away. We're intending to put 3 proper signed and spaced disabled bays opposite the back door or the rear entrance, let's say. We're also looking to improve, or to put in 2 disabled bays by the front door as well, so people have got the ability to get in at close to the doors, the entry doors, as well as back and front as well. And we're also looking to put a loading and dropping off area where the original disabled bays are. They were never proper disabled bays. They were just a couple of parking bays that were marked up in yellow. But this would be then a drop off for people that we have 2. We have certainly 4 blind people that come by taxi. And it makes that facility, it gets them off Bath Street, so it improves the traffic going up and down Bath Street at that particular time on a Sunday morning, gets them out of the way, gets them safe, so we can keep that clear of any parking. So that's going to be a great facility.
Thank you.
And Councillor Knowles? Do you want to raise it? So I was going to say, Councillor Knowles seems to have moved them all, so you can move that one if you like.
I mean, the bottom line is, Chairman, this is another very important facility. I mean, when you're talking about such a wide age group and so many groups who are using it, it's, not just an important religious venue, it's also a very important community venue. And, it's, as a council, it's very important for us to be investing in our communities. And I think it's absolutely the right thing to do. So, to quote a phrase that I've used several times tonight, I'm very happy to move this, Chairman.
Marvellous. And Councillor James will second it. So, as it sits in my ward, and I think it is pretty much the only accessible community space in the Welland ward. So, thank you very much for your service to our community. Proposed and seconded. All those in favour? Again, Paul. Wait for Paul. Okay, so that will be passed on to the Cabinet Sub-Grants Committee, and you'll be notified in due course.
Lovely.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Dragons.
So, sorry, which dragon were you, Councillor Knowles?
Sorry?
Which dragon were you? Okay, Kat, so that's all of the awards, so we just have the priorities report to go through, which I believe is with you as well.
It is.
Yes.
Thank you,
I
Chair.
don't know why John came along this evening. Okay.
Always appreciate John's support, very much so. Okay, talk through the priorities and projects report. Just to pick up on Councillor Bremner, your question earlier about why was Lutterworth Country Park referred to in the previous meeting and in the minutes of the previous meeting. While we've been talking, I've just been having a look back, and my understanding and recollection is that it was referred to as an example that could be used for the planning and delivery of additional parks and country parks within the Market Harborough area. So I think that's why it's referenced, just to clarify that for you. But I'll move on to the report for this particular meeting. So I'll work through the updates in turn. So Welland Park, at the last meeting of the panel, we provided an update regarding the work ongoing for a range of options for the disused open air bowling green and bowls pavilion. So an initial feasibility study took place, business cases have now been produced, and the report with the business cases and the next steps is going to be presented to Cabinet on the 23rd of March, and that will be published this Friday for everyone to have a look at. In terms of other works within the park, the tennis court resurfacing is now pretty much complete. There were some delays to this project. Unfortunately, it did mean that there was a bit of time where some of the courts were out of action longer than we'd hoped. It was solely down to the extent of the rain. So clearly, when we have that much water on the ground, it's quite difficult to undertake that resurfacing work. So, but that is now complete. And we will be planning an official opening in due course. So watch this space for those details. In terms of other things to note within Welland Park, the old bell tower was also recently completed and an opening event took place for that, which I understand went down very well. And we're also arranging a plaque to be installed to formally mark the 90th anniversary of the park. So we had the 90th anniversary last year. And if you recall, we had cake cutting and we had a bit of a public event. And we are now looking to install a plaque at Welland Park just to commemorate that. So we felt it was quite important to have something physical to commemorate that. So we have drawn up, we've come up with some wording for the plaque, but we would be very interested to know whether the panel has any specific thoughts around wording that they'd like to be included. You can either obviously talk about that now or obviously sort of put forward suggestions later.
There were two on the short list, and we did say they could be presented blind, because one of them was written by me, to the panel, just so they could vote on it, but it doesn't seem to be included. So.
Oh, okay. Well, apologies for that. Well, perhaps I'll work through the report and then I'll dig out the wording and then we'll perhaps come back to that if that's okay.
Okay.
We've got it somewhere, so yeah.
Cool. Sorry, Councillor Asher would like to speak. Sorry, Kat.
Of course, yeah.
Sorry, can I just come in before we go off of Welland Park? As of today, the 2 tennis courts that weren't finished were still not finished, and there were people, obviously they can be used but they're not completely finished yet. So I don't know if you've got an update on when they will be finished, because obviously in the report it says they're now nearing final completion, but I'm not sure if that's the case because I know the work was delayed because of the weather. So
yeah. I don't have an exact date, I'm afraid, as in a date. I've been told that it's very, very soon. But what I'll do is I'll get an update. I'll try and get an exact date and I'll circulate that information to the panel tomorrow, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Kat. And also when the gate will be ready, the electronic keypad gate, because I know that was supposed to be done soon, but I don't think that's ready yet either.
I was waiting for an electricity supply last time, I heard, but yeah. So I think Councillor Knowles would like to comment as well before we come back to you, Kat.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to make 1 or 2 overall comments, really, Chairman. I know we haven't got to move this, so I won't have to. This is just for noting. But I think this is a very good document because it covers so many of the things that we are looking at for Market Harborough. And I think that's important. It is very much concentrated on the town itself, or the town of Market Harborough. I mean, when you look at Welland Park, I mean, what we're doing at Welland Park has got some wonderful opportunities for the future. And we're looking at all of the things that can be done with regards to the old bowling green there and the opportunity to actually make that a feature for the future, an outdoor arena. And I think one of the things we're looking at is very much along the lines of, potentially a winter wonderland, ice skating, all sorts of things, as we head towards winter. I hope that we might be able to get to the point this year where that can be included, because, we're at the right time of year now to be planning forward for that. So I think it is quite important. There's an awful lot of stuff that can be done there. The bell tower, I mean, I didn't make it along to the bell tower unveiling and scissor operation by the chairman of the council, but I was assured he did a wonderful job with the scissors. And, again, people are absolutely delighted with it. There's so much positive news around what's going on Welland Park. It really, it's a credit to the town and a credit to the council. The rewilding, again, this is a scheme that we are going to make sure goes ahead. It's a scheme that this is an integral part of over 1,000 acres now across the district, which is an umbrella scheme, and to have that type of legacy for the future. And I'm not going to go into too much detail tonight because obviously we don't want to start having a lengthy discussion about it, but I will say, it's 1,000 acres there across the whole of the district, and this is an important part of it. We had the first tree planting which His Majesty the King gave his approval to have the tree planted in his name, and we had the Lord Lieutenant of Leicestershire actually there in attendance, and I think, having him there actually planting the tree underlined, just how important the scheme is. Again, we've got flooding on here. I think as a council, we recognise the difficulties and the trauma that flooding causes to our residents. And we want to play our part in it, and there's an awful lot we can do and an awful lot we are doing. So, I think, again, that's something that will develop. Also, I think we really do have to mention the town of culture. This is a wonderful opportunity to put Market Harborough on the map right across the country, really, because it's going to be very interesting to see. And if we were lucky enough to win it, I mean, the winning award there is £3 million to deliver a cultural programme in 2028. So it's well worthwhile us getting involved and getting the community involved in that. Community facility as well. As I say, there's so much going on. There's also that, I can't remember the name of the area in your ward, Burford Green. Yeah, there's Burford Green. That was the one, Paul. Yeah. Which Councillor Bremley just mentioned to me there. That isn't mentioned here, but is again one of the ones we should be looking at. So there's an awful lot of things that we as a council are looking at, and a lot of events that are coming up, and things that we should be supporting. So I think this is a report well worth noting, and I think it's a report that will evolve over the coming months. And I look forward to seeing the additional information.
Thank you for your comments, Councillor Knowles. Councillor Anderson?
I'm just a bit confused. I don't think Kat had actually finished presenting the
I think
report,
she has.
actually.
No, we've kind of gone
so I'd
off
quite like to hear the rest of the report.
Sorry about that, buddy.
I think
Enthusiastic.
Is it pertinent, Councillor James?
Well, I was going to go wider ranging, but I'll leave it till later. But we're talking about Welland Park, aren't we, Kat? I think really mainly.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just make a couple of comments on that. One is that I'm really pleased to see that this bowling pavilion is going to come back into use. I mean, I arrived in Market Harborough in 1988, a long time ago, and it was shut then, so it's been closed a long while. Okay. Yeah, and the building, it will be really good for community use. We are getting desperately short of community facilities in the town. We've lost one or two. It's good that we've been talking about those earlier on, of course, and supporting, but we've lost one or two. And don't forget, we've got an increasing population to deal with. So I think it's really important to see that community facility I'd like to see in use. And now I'll just link Welland Park with the flooding, because I don't know whether people, flooding is, I'll come back to flooding when we get there, but just to make a point, Welland Park, in this present period of rainfall where the ground was totally saturated, Welland Park was very, very badly flooded. I've never seen that. I've never seen that in all my time here. Seen flooding in other areas, but it's a bit of a warning signal to us. Not only Welland Park actually, but Little Bowden recreation ground was flooded to the point where the children almost not able to get into the school. You know, not deep, but enough to get your feet wet. So I think we have to think about flooding as well in the context of Welland Park. That's all I'll say at the moment, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor James. I was just going to reserve my comments to Welland Park. You didn't mention all the good work that's been going on in the play park. So the good ship Welland Park is now officially launched out of the saw wood chips. And a few other things have been replaced as well, so it's well worth mentioning the good work that's gone into that. But we'll hand back over to you now, Kat.
Thank you. Yes, yeah, there's lots going on. I think it's fair to say the report provides the highlights, but yeah, you're absolutely right. There is a huge amount going on. I think, well, I finished the update on Welland Park. I think I do have the proposed wording for the plaque. If you would like to, would you like to make a decision about that this evening, or would you like me to circulate that for your consideration, Chair?
Yeah, if you circulate it, actually. So,
yeah.
Obviously, no, read it out. Read it out. Go on.
Okay.
Or put it on the screen. Share it on the screen if you can.
Will we know which one's yours, Darren? Will you have signed it?
No. Yes.
We've had some good suggestions. So perhaps I won't say, I won't say who the suggestions are from. So that perhaps wouldn't be fair, but I think we've narrowed it down to 2 suggestions. So do you want me to read them out, Chair?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. So the first suggestion for the plaque is, I'll try and do this justice. Welland Park, celebrating 90 years of natural beauty and community spirit since 1935, a place where memories grow, friendships blossom and nature thrives. That's the first one.
Well, can I just pause you there because Councillor Ash is just not paying attention?
I just think that sounds
Yes.
good.
Yeah. Sorry, can you repeat that for Councillor Ash's benefit?
Of course I can. Yeah, of course I can. No problem. So the first suggestion is... Oh, no, my screen's gone again. Right. Welland Park, celebrating 90 years of natural beauty and community spirit since 1935, a place where memories grow, friendships blossom and nature thrives. So that's the first one. Try and remember that one. The second one, celebrating 90 years of fun and laughter since 1935, a place where communities and friendships are built.
Councillor Knowles?
My immediate reaction is I like the first one. I don't know what other people feel like, but listening to the first one, I think that's it, to me, that reads very well and it says exactly what we wanted to say. Second that.
Okay.
I disagree.
Well,
with Councillor Bremner on this. Sorry, there's loads of Pauls and Peters in this council, so I'm just going to say it. I don't know, I just liked it. I don't want to spend all evening on this, and we don't even have to start it now, but I like the simplicity of the second one personally. That's just my view, but I certainly wouldn't lose any sleep if the first one got chosen.
Well, luckily there's 5 of us and I shan't be voting. So one of them's going to win if we vote on it then, aren't they? So should we just do a show of hands for the first one? Just 3, and for the second one? 2. Okay, so the first one has it?
Now, may I ask the question, which one was yours?
No.
I think the first one.
I honestly can't remember now, it's weeks ago.
I think the first one was it mentioned nature.
No, I think the second one was me. I can't remember now. So. Come on, Kat, put us out of our misery. Which one did I write?
The second one.
Second one. Okay, so the first one has it in that case.
The first suggestion was Harborough in bloom, so I think they will be delighted.
Indeed. And I shall never talk to them again, right? Okay. Right, if we continue then. Okay. Okay, Kat, on to the rewilding, please, before it gets too hilarious.
The rewilding, I think this has already been mentioned by Councillor Knowles, so I perhaps won't sort of labour on this one, but yeah, there's an update within the report on the rewilding project. There is also a report that went to Cabinet 2 weeks ago, which is a very extensive report on the rewilding project with all of the governance information, the vision and the next steps. So that is available for anyone who wants any further detail, and the update in this report is an extract from that. So because we have produced such an extensive report for Cabinet, we've just given a very light touch update on rewilding for this report. But there is a link in the report, so if anybody wants any more of the detail, then they can of course go in via the link. Flooding is I almost don't want to say this, but I'm going to touch wood on the table. We have been extremely fortunate at the time of writing the report, but also now we have been extremely fortunate that given how much rain we've had, we have not had any reports of internal property flooding, which is quite remarkable and obviously very positive. But within the report, we've put the information around, just as a reminder that we've included in previous reports around the support services offered by us in respect of flooding, and some update around some further support within the budget. There's been a very slight amendment since writing this report was undertaken at the council meeting. So the £200,000 budget is now £150,000. But other than that, everything else in the report is as per the report. I will very quickly run through the rest of it. I think in terms of the community facilities, I think we've already touched on that. We've got 2 new community buildings that are in the pipeline, and their plans for those are progressing very well. And that just leaves me really to talk about the Town of Culture bid, which I think is very worthy of a mention. This is detailed in the report, but is a real opportunity for Market Harborough in terms of really putting the town on the map as a cultural hub or hotspot, or whatever you want to call it, and also the opportunity to secure some funding. So that expression of interest will now be submitted. It's being worked on at the moment by a partnership between the economic development team within the council and external partners and stakeholders who are being engaged, and that will be submitted by the end of this month, and then we will wait with bated breath to see what the outcome of that is. If we are shortlisted, then we'll go on to receive £60,000 of capacity funding, which will enable us to prepare a more detailed submission during the course of this year. I don't believe they've released the deadline for that yet, but we will wait. So yes, wish us luck on that one, but we've had a lot of very positive feedback from our cultural partners on that one. I think, Chair, to be honest, that pretty much gives you the real sort of highlights of the report. There's a little bit of information there about support available for events. Obviously, not going to be too long before we're into the summer events period. So anybody planning an event is able to go onto the website and access support that they need to do so. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Kat. Any final comments then? So, Councillor James. I think you are. Well, thank you. Fight?
I thought Councillor James. You go, Councillor, and I'll follow.
That UK Town of Culture sounds very exciting, but I don't know what the competition will be like. I'm sure that the bids go. The UK Town of Culture is an exciting competition to be part of. Competition could be very stiff, but go for it. I think there's quite for this size of town, I think there's quite a lot of culture within it, and we heard that from the table today. Again, I want some clarity over what was being stated about rewilding, because you quote the Cabinet of the 2nd of March, but you don't quote the council meeting where the amendment was made, and that was to seek a business case for the rewilding project. So I'm not sure how that fits with this report, because you stop your timeline at the Cabinet of the 2nd of March.
Yes, this report was written before the council meeting, so that explains why it's not addressed within the report. I mean, if you would like me to, I can certainly provide an update on what happened in terms of the budget, if you'd like me to, but that explains why it's not addressed in the report, because this report was written before the council meeting.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you.
Councillor James?
Yeah, just a couple of comments. Just one comment on the rewilding park, and obviously in my role at the moment, I see a lot of the Lord Lieutenant from Leicestershire, and he is so impressed with this project. long-term project for the next generation. But and of course he attended the tree planting with some of us, with myself, with Councillor Bremner, Councillor Knowles, and we've got huge backing there from you know from there. And I just want to mention something again on the flooding. Kat was absolutely right about we were so close to actually not having properties damaged in my ward. It got to a point quite early in the morning. We've got lots of technology now with the rivers rising and falling, and I get access to that. And we were very close with the Jordan overspilling into properties. You know, literally it was the point, and then it started to recede. We were lucky because we didn't have huge, very, very heavy downpours. It was sort of a continual rain day after day, and the rivers were able to cope with it. But what I would say is another reason why we did get away with this is because we have a great band of volunteers, flood wardens, who are watching this, who are giving information out as to what's going on, what the water levels are, and more importantly, perhaps they've actually been out doing work, because we've got a lot of areas where we've, even fairly new developments, where we've got balancing lagoons, where we've got, you know, water areas that hold the water back from actually going to river. And I know a number of these flood wardens have been out in their own time, taking all the debris away from these lagoons so that they can fill up properly. We even discovered one down the leisure centre that hadn't been used ever, I don't think. And we've actually rebalanced some of the water flow, and it's these volunteers who've done that, and I think you know a number of them, Chairman, who've been out and cleared rivers and done this sort of cleared the balancing lagoons so that the water is held back to an extent in the river. And that's definitely got us in a better position. But again, we must remember there's more house building going on, there'll be more water, and we've got the prison, of course, coming on soon. And I would like to say also that the prison, the ground, as Councillor Asher will know with me, the meetings we attend, they've cleared the ground, but to the credit to Waits, the developer there, they've got all the balancing lagoons in place at the prison, they've got all the pumping stations working, and again, they're holding the water back in the right way so it doesn't all rush down into the welland. So we've got good things going on, but we've got to be mindful of this, and I think as we get more property development, we are very close, and we need to make sure that we manage the water flows properly and keep everyone safe. Just want to say that, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor James. As you've mentioned, so I'll come to you again in a second, Councillor Asher. As you've mentioned, flooding and the local volunteer groups, I think it's worth mentioning. If you are interested in supporting it, we have the flood action groups. You can find them on Facebook. And they do anything from just looking down drains to see if they need cleaning and reporting them through to screen cleaning teams. So there's a lot of work going on in the background. So, yeah, Councillor Asher.
Yes, thank you. Just wanted to mention a couple of things. So I was in the meeting for the Town of Culture meeting that we had the other day. I think, yeah, it's great that we're going ahead with this. There's a lot of enthusiasm in the room. But one of the things that was pointed out is that a lot of it is not what we've got, but what we haven't got and what improvements we will make. And that's kind of the case that we need to put forward on this. So it's not like, oh, look at us, we're great, we've got all this stuff. And if you look at who has won City of Culture in the past, it is normally an area that needed the investment. And I think that's what they're looking for, to invest in an area to make it better. So we are quite hopeful we might, you know, get the grant maybe, but winning it might be, but you know, don't want to be negative, but there we go. And then if I can come on to the communities facilities, I know Councillor James is keen on this as well. We've obviously got the community buildings that were promised at Wellington Place and Overston Park. I just wondered if there's any update on this, because I know both of us are keen, and it would be great if we can get something secured soon for these two new communities. I know that people are crying out for them. Thank you.
Yeah, Kat, if you'd like to come back on that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of the Little Bowden facility, so that's the Overston Park one. We've got that is so the designs have been done for that and have been agreed with us. We are expecting that the Reserve Matters planning application, which secures the permission for the community facility, is not just for the community facility. It actually incorporates a slightly wider area that we would refer to in planning terms as the local centre. So that's a retail centre and other facilities. So it's taking a little bit of time for the developer to pull that planning application together because it isn't just a community facility, but we are assured that that is being worked on as we speak, and we are expecting that to come in. In terms of Wellington Place, I am in very frequent and direct communication with the Multi Academy Trust around the delivery of that facility. In fact, I was speaking to them only today. So we are now moving forward very, very soon. We are expecting to have designs. We're expecting to move into the pre-planning stage for that. So it is all progressing very well.
Thank you, Kath. And I can't take this opportunity of people talking about community meeting space to mention Burford Green. So there is the master plan and visioning going on for Burford Green. And one of the aspirations of the local community is for a community hall there as well. So if you would like to have your voice heard, there is a consultation running on the council website at the minute. Again, just look for that on our consultations page. Actually, no, it's not on actually our Harborough one, is it? It's on Visit Harborough, I think. Yeah. Anyway, so just follow my socials and it'll be on there. Anyway, any urgent business then? Any last comments? No? Okay. In that case, I shall call the meeting closed. Thank you everyone for your time, and anyone watching online, thank you as well. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Meeting closed.